Record. Okay. Good morning. This is Steve Gladis, and this is a series called Steve Gladis Interviews With. And today's with is a good friend and a colleague over the years, Mitch Weintraub, who's the CEO of Cordia Partners. Mitch, it's great to have you here today. Tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got to Cordia Partners.
Oh, thanks, Steve. And it's a pleasure spending some time with you this morning, and appreciate our long-standing relationship and everything you do in the community. So thank you, and wishing health and safety and to you, your family, and everybody you connect with.
Thanks.
So let's see. How did I get to my current position? I'm the one of the founders and managing partner of Cordia, and today we're close to a 200-person firm based in Northern Virginia. We've got an office in D.C. and we've got an office in Rockville, Maryland, and do a really good job serving small to mid-market businesses in the region, and doing a little bit more nationally. How did I get to where I'm at today? I'm one of those accountants who started off doing audit and tax, and that was really good grounding for me, and it gave me some good insight into accounting and finance and operations of business. But as I grew in my career, I was tired of I was really tired of compliance. I was really tired of auditing and looking backwards, and I really wanted to look forward and help companies grow and improve their infrastructure, which ultimately led me to do more on the consulting side, and then kind of evolving into the outsourcing. When you do consulting and you find weaknesses, you put together a report and you tell them what to do and how to do it. But I wanted more, and I really wanted to help companies more, and that kind of led to the outsourced accounting, where we were in a position to come in and we were in a position to come in and effectively take over all or parts of the accounting departments of businesses, which really put us in a position to re-engineer and really get those companies moving in the right direction. So, long story short, started my career, the blocking and tackling, the traditional side. Spent the first half of it in the traditional public accounting route. Spun Cordia out of Beers and Cutler, now Baker Tilly International. That happened in 2006. I think we spun out with 7 or 8 people, less than $1 million in revenue. And today our organization, as I mentioned, a tick under 200. We did about 30 million in revenue this past year, and knock on wood, targeting growth despite COVID-19. We're doing everything in our power to target growth. So that's kind of a high level.
No, that's great. So it's basically outsourced accounting, right? For the most part, was that how you would describe it?
Yeah. So Cordia today is outsourced accounting, consulting, recruiting and staffing, and technical accounting. No audit, no tax, but everything in our platform is around helping companies with their finance and accounting infrastructure. It's all about their people, their processes, their technology, everything about helping companies improve and operate, such a key critical function.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned COVID-19. That's the pregnant question, I guess, for everybody. So how has it affected you guys? What did you do when it hit? What are you doing differently now besides growing a beard, which I like, by the way?
Yeah, the beard is great. But how has it affected our business? Look, Steve, it's affected our business. It's affected every business around. It's affected people personally and professionally, and the impact has really been top to bottom.
Yeah.
We've had positive impacts. We've had negative impacts. I would say the number one effect here is uncertainty.
Yeah.
There are days where we have added new clients. So over the past couple months, we have added significant new clients and are onboarding them remotely. And there's days where we've had clients that we've been working with for 10 years call us up and say, you guys are doing great, but we want to defer your payment. Can we pay you a little bit now and pay the remainder over a few months? So effectively becoming their bank. We've
Yeah.
had clients call us up and say, we've got to shelve a significant systems implementation because we can't just do it now. So, positive and negative, but it's that uncertainty. You have a few days where your staff and everything is humming, and then you hear about a staffing issue. You hear about somebody working remotely and just isn't able to work as efficiently and effectively as they have been. So the uncertainty on a day-to-day, hour-by-hour, minute-by-minute basis is really is really the the key here. We do a lot of work in the not-for-profit space, and it's quite apparent that if you're a not-for-profit, in many organizations donations are down, unless it directly serves the community, food banks, community foundations. But if you're reliant on events, every not-for-profit we work with has significant events, and they're all canceled.
Yeah.
That's really showing material impact on their finances. So, with half of our business in the not-for-profit space, that's a big deal. Recruiting and staffing, we've got the number 6 or number 7 recruiting and staffing practice in the DC metro area. Permanent placement is down. If a company was looking to hire a CFO or controller pre-COVID, today they're shelving it. They're putting it on hold until there's a new normal.
Yeah.
Now, again, we're helping a few clients, but the permanent placement business has clearly taken a hit. Our interim staffing business, so far so good, where clients allow or are set up for remote work. Those interim staffing projects continue. We have been fortunate to win a recent deal. We're helping a government contractor in the region staff up resources for the SBA to help out with loan applications.
I was going to ask you that.
Very.
Have you guys been involved in PPP or any of that stuff?
Have we gotten involved? Yeah, we have helped a significant number of clients that were eligible prepare their information, pull together their payroll reports, and help them submit. So on the client side, we have helped virtually any client and every client that was eligible. And as an organization ourselves, based on all of the uncertainty, we were able to submit and we were granted PPP funds as well.
Oh, good for you. So one question about the deferred payments, because that's happening with a lot of companies. It's happening with a lot of real estate companies. What, in general, what do you do when somebody comes to you with that? Is that a case-by-case thing, or?
Yeah, Steve, it's a great question, and frankly, it is a case by case. The bottom line is we provide an essential service. We are providing the accounting. We are doing bill pay. We are processing payroll for our clients and our customers. So we are providing an essential service. They've been a client of ours, customers of ours for a long time. And, it's very easy to say goodbye, we're not serving you, but to come out of this stronger, there's got to be a balance and go to the client and have the open and honest discussion that says we're in the exact same boat as you, and we're not going to stop paying your people. We're not going to stop work. We're not going to institute a stop work order, but if you can, anything, if it's a $10,000 a month bill and fee and you can cut it in half and just keep a stream coming, that'd be helpful. But yeah, it's case by case. In a situation like this, you can't play the heavy. And again, you want to keep your existing client base as robust as possible coming out of this thing. And they'll remember, if you were good to them, they'll be good to you.
Well, plus it's much harder to find a new client than it is to maintain an old one, not from a purely marketing standpoint, but I mean,
that's absolutely right.
And from a humanity standpoint, as you mentioned, rightly so, you just have to try to figure this thing out together. What have you learned by all this? What has surprised you? This has been in it now for 2 months. It's not going away. It doesn't look like soon. What have you learned? What has surprised you about this with your staff and others?
Yeah, gosh, I like to think, part of my DNA and part of my success is lifelong learning, and I think it is. And right now, Steve, I think the biggest thing is listening. Every moment I have to listen to a peer, listen to a staff person, listen to a client. I'm a member of the Economic Club of DC, and I listen to their weekly webinars where you have business leaders such as Ted Leonsis and other key folks. They had Anthony Fauci speak 2 weeks ago. But taking the time now to listen to folks that are smarter than me, that have experienced and are dealing with this real time, and frankly, taking a tidbit away from those leaders, even down to the staff accountant who's working from home, who I touch base with regularly, saying, have you thought about this? Just listening right now, getting all of their thoughts, empathy right now, more than ever. Every person is dealing with this differently. Working from home, it's real easy for certain folks, and it's unbelievably challenging for others. And having a senior manager call me up and say, I've got young children, and it's hard for me to do this during regular business hours, and I'd like to shift my work schedule to after 7 and before 6 in the morning, and it's just listening and making it work. And I think, Steve, that's the most important thing right now during this crisis. It's not it's not here's how we're going to do it. It's how do you all need this to happen and make it work. And again, at the end of the day, my people, the firm's people, are our products, are our assets, and they're the ones that are doing the work. They're the ones that are producing, and we've got to take care of those assets. Like their goal they are.
So what do you think is going to change? Like let's say October comes around and we're through the worst of it, and it looks like people are going to come back to business as usual, who knows what that's going to look like. But what changes or innovations has COVID-19 forced you into? I mean, I wrote an article for a magazine recently, and I said that the last line was, change is slow and difficult unless your life or your business is at stake. So, we've made a lot of change. What changes do you think might endure?
Well, I think right now, it's this continuation of growth, and growth means a lot of things to me, my partners, our business, and it's this concept of leaning in and constantly improving. I think we have to further build out this mindset of revenue recovery, rapid revenue recovery, building out this mindset of
what is, wait a minute, what's rapid revenue recovery? That's sounds like an accounting term.
I equate that to, right now we're doing everything to maintain our existing client base.
Yeah.
Before COVID-19, we were targeting upwards of 35% revenue growth. Our original 2020 budget or forecast had us coming in about $40 million in revenue. I told you that we did about 30 million in revenue in 2019. And, this whole revenue recovery, it's really this concept of doing everything we can to get us at or close to the original plan pre-COVID-19.
Oh, gotcha.
So, what that means is, and where I think this is taking our organization, it's this taking action now, and I'll give you some examples in a little bit, but taking action now to do everything that we can quickly reestablish and recover those revenue goals, those revenue targets that we've established.
Let me just pop in here. So,
Sure.
Are there things that you're doing like working from? I know the working from home thing. Is that going to affect when people come back? Is the virtual client thing, is that going to change? I mean, are those kind of changes going to stick?
Yeah. So, look, our employee health and safety is number one, and serving our clients is 1B or whatever number that you want to call it. Look, at the end of the day, our people's health, serving our clients, and shareholder value. I mean, I think, and I couldn't order them. I think it's 1A, 1A, and 1A.
Right.
The working from home has proven to be productive. I'm knocking on wood here. We invested in significant technology. We've been in the cloud since 2006, Steve, and we did not skip a beat on the technology front. I would envision, and we've got a committee set up in the office now on what it looks like. But we're going to continue to allow folks to work from home. When and if they come back, it'll follow any requirements that are out there. It'll be safe. It'll be spread out. But frankly, the team has proven that they can be efficient, they can be effective, and they can be productive from working from home. We've given them the ability, the capability to do it, and it's working. Frankly, in our business, our people, we're measured by the billable hour, and our utilization numbers, which means time charged to client versus administrative overhead. They're above plan, and they exceeded the previous months. So our folks have figured out how to do it. I'm seeing greater productivity. The numbers prove it. Work is delivered more timely. It's more accurate. There's greater quality control in place because it has to be in this environment. It's great when you can leave your cube and walk into somebody's office and say, "What do you think?" But now it's real. Now it's, "Hey, what do you think?" It's the texting. "What do you think? Can I help you?" If a client reaches out asking a question, the response time back is lightning fast.
Yeah. So let me ask you this question. I've got a minute or so here left. Let me ask you a question, Mitch. And this is a tough thinking kind of question. I realize it, but put yourself back at 30 years old or so for just a minute. And what advice would you give that 30-year-old accountant now? What would you say, career-wise, leadership-wise? What kind of advice would you give maybe to think of it as like your son or one of your employees who's coming along, who said, "Hey, what are 2 or 3 things you've learned along the way?" Not a laundry list, but a few things.
Yeah, Steve, that's a great question. My son's 23 and
Yeah,
he's working at a
an
he's
accounting.
working in the consulting practice of a big five firm based in Tysons Corner. So I give him the advice all the time. Right now, I said it earlier, right now is the time for every young leader, every young professional to listen, to surround themselves with great mentors, folks that they can trust, folks that they can learn from, and take this opportunity, any challenge, take it as an opportunity to be that sponge, listen, learn, do everything you can right now to put yourself and your company and your personal and professional situation in a better place. Use this
Yeah,
as a time to listen, to learn, focus on your skills, open up your your relationships, your Rolodexes. We can't go and have lunch and do coffees, but we can pick up the phone, we can call, we can do a Zoom, we can do a webinar.
yeah.
Take this as the time to
So,
reconnect with all your centers of influence, and that's probably the biggest thing. But it's
yeah,
listen and surround yourself with really smart people who are going to help you help you
help you do
grow.
that. Yeah,
And
what I'm
stop
hearing you say,
and grow right now. Yeah,
and what? And what?
and grow right now. This isn't a time to hunker down.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot to mention one thing earlier, and I think it's monumental and important. Um, Q1, we just gave all of our staff bonuses. We gave all of our staff bonuses
Yeah.
on April 15th. We've hired 5 net new people because of this concept of growth,
So,
and we onboarded them remotely. And it's this growth and lean in,
lean in
methodology.
attitude, sure.
Yeah,
And so
right now,
what I'm hearing you say, Mitch, to kind of wrap it, is that during this period, lean in, go forward, don't sit back. And for advice for younger folks, it's use this pause I call it the big pause. Use this time to improve yourself, to learn and to grow forward. Mitch, I just want to thank you for taking this time. It was a great discussion. I wish we could go on longer. But I appreciate your time and your experience, and your friendship over the years, and also I want to add before we break here, also your commitment to the community. I mean, I don't think people realize the level of commitment that you've had to the community. Those of us who know you do. People listening
right.
might not know that. So thank you so much for all you do, and keep growing that beard, man. Good to see you.
Thanks, Steve. Best
You
to you,
bet, man.
best to your family.
Same here. Bye.
Bye bye.